Welcome back to another IELTS vocabulary lesson, this time looking at top language and vocabulary for law and order. In a similar way to the last lesson, space, law and order is definitely something that you could read about in an article for IELTS reading, but it's also something that could come up in speaking, writing and listening too. Let's take a look at the vocabulary list here. We have punishment, crime, fraud, confession, capital punishment, justice, discrimination, and rehabilitation. 8 pieces of language and vocabulary that you really should be able to understand and use in order to prep for your IELTS test. Let's take a look at the first piece of vocabulary, which is punishment. So punishment is an action taken when somebody has done something wrong. So the punishment is the effect of somebody doing something that they shouldn't have done. The level of punishments in many countries is very different for types of crimes. To stop future criminals, stronger punishments should be handed out. And yes, we use this verb here, handed out. You hand out punishments or handed out punishments. Okay, and up next we have crime. In many countries, in all countries in fact, there are lots of rules, and if you break those rules, you have committed a crime. In city centres, crime is a major concern for most families and pensioners. There are many different types of crime, but some are considered worse than others. Crime. Here we have fraud. Fraud is a type of crime. Fraud is tricking someone to steal their possessions or their money. Online fraud has become a huge problem for internet users in the last decade, and this is a common type of fraud and a collocation: online fraud. People often stealing your bank details online, or also it could be stealing your identity too. When using ATM machines, it's important to be careful about fraud. And here we have confession. A confession is someone saying they have done something wrong. It is somebody admitting they have committed a crime. If a criminal gives an honest confession, their sentence could be reduced. And we have highlighted sentence. So when a criminal is given prison time, that is a sentence, an amount of time they must stay in prison. Okay, next up. In court, it is difficult to get a confession that is the truth. Confession. Now we have capital punishment. This is a noun which is a type of punishment and justice handed out through some courts across the world, and it is also known as the death penalty. For very severe crimes, people are given capital punishment and are killed. In my opinion, capital punishment is too much for any crime. Since the 1970s, capital punishment was banned in many countries. Justice. Justice is the act of righting something that was wrong, fixing a crime that somebody has committed. For citizens to feel safe, justice must be quick and transparent. And again, here is an extra piece of vocabulary: transparent. Transparent justice. Transparent means you can see through something. When we talk about transparent justice, it means that it is not corrupt and everybody understands exactly what is happening. Transparent justice. Moving on, 50% of adults felt that justice in their home countries was adequately dealt out. And here we have a type of crime of sorts: discrimination. It is labeling somebody as something, for example, a female and a foreign citizen, and treating them poorly because of this. Over a third of women felt discrimination at their workplace. Discrimination is a major issue that many countries are trying to solve. And we have now rehabilitation. So in especially Western countries, when criminals are sent to jail or prison, they are given a program of rehabilitation, re-education, and giving extra skills in the hope that when they finish their prison sentence, they are rehabilitated and can become positive, active members of society. Criminals often find rehabilitation difficult whilst in prison. It's highly important to offer rehabilitation to prisoners in order to help them develop and grow. Rehabilitation, trying to help prisoners to change their lives. Okay, that is some key vocabulary for law and order. I hope you found some of this useful, and as always, do try and use it in practicing for the IELTS test.